Hey everybody, it's Libby with WootRecruit. What is WootRecruit? We are the solution, the one and only solution for the high turnover industry, such as cleaning, lawn care, you name it. If you're in a high turnover industry, we are the recruiting solution for you. Super excited for another episode within our series of the Profit Flywheel for recruiting. And I have Chris on again today. Chris is our CTO of WootRecruit. If you want to say hello, Chris, and we'll jump right in.
Hi, so I'm Chris with the CTO or Chief Technical Officer here at WootRecruit. So my job is everything to do with systems and keeping that engine running smoothly. So I think this plays really nicely into our Profit Flywheel that Libby is about to bring us up to speed on.
Yes, so we have recorded a series of videos in this whole group of series. We've covered impressions, we've covered clicks, and now we're going to cover apply starts. And what is apply starts and why is this important? So apply starts are the number of applicants or users who begin the application process after clicking onto the job posting. And why is this important? Why are tracking apply starts important? Because, well, a high apply start rate indicates that the job posting is really compelling or it's relevant enough to move a candidate from being interested to taking action. And there are some key factors that Chris and I are going to talk about today that really influence apply starts. And it is the relevance of the job seeker. It's relevant to the job seeker, the job description, engagement, and attraction, and any visual appeal that you can add to that. So, Chris, let's jump in and get started with apply starts. And we're going to also give you, sorry, Chris, for our listeners, give you a percentage like to look at. We're going to use some examples of actual WootRecruit customers on the percentage from clicks to apply starts.
Yes, great. So real quickly, I want to clarify what apply starts are so that, because right now, this might be a new term for a lot of people in understanding, well, I thought apply starts is just them applying, right?
Nope.
No. So in this respect, what we're talking about is when you have another step or another layer in there, when you're using something like third-party platforms, there's typically you have something in between the applicant choosing to take action and them actually completing that action. So this is that interim. This is that time between when they decide to start and when they decide to finish that application process. So for us, what we talk about is apply starts is that instant or that moment, and we'll use Indeed for an example. When somebody chooses to, like Libby said, chooses to take action with that posted job, that opportunity. So this has everything to do with from clicks to apply starts. Is, was it compelling enough for them to commit to the idea of applying with you? So real quickly here, with that idea, again, of them choosing to actually start the application process with you, there's those factors that Libby mentioned, is it really sitting? And again, we're gonna repeat this time and time again with it being for the right person at the right time, speaking through the right medium or in the right way. So we're going to keep referencing this time and time again as we discuss each topic through this Profit Flywheel. But right now, we're just going to sit and speak about number one is the relevance to that job seeker. So with that relevance, what we're talking about is, just as we spoke with the clicks and just as we spoke with the impressions, is it speaking the right language to that person? This really comes into the job ad itself. And are you speaking the right language? Is it the right tone? Does it invoke the right emotion inside of that?
No, so this would be inside the job. I mean, inside when they're applying, right?
Yes.
It went from the job ad to, does the job ad match the online application that we're now bringing them through?
Yes, or this Libby is the instant they decide to apply. So this would be everything to do with the job ad, like you mentioned. And again, everything to do with that full detailed description of that job. Now that they've looked at the snippet inside of that third-party platform or wherever you might have it posted, even in person, and really. And so it's everything to do with the full breakdown is it still speaking the right language? The way they read it, does it make sense? Is it relevant? Or did the snippets that were previously inside of that for them to click in? You first talked about the catfishing, Libby, and I think this might be one of the very first instances that happens with catfishing those applicants. And in whatever's showing inside of the snippet, is it still consistent with the rest of the ad and the roles and responsibilities that you are describing within that? So this can really make or break whether people decide, I think this is worth looking into. Let me click to start that process and actually commit to applying with that job.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think that, with apply starts, it's a great measure. And if you're not measuring this at your company, like what's the percentage? What should it be? What can I do to improve it? I'm going to share my screen and share with you guys, again, we covered impressions, clicks, and we're going to apply starts. And, here we have someone who has a 33% apply start rate in our first example. In our third example, we have a 45% apply start rate. And then in our third example, we have a 30% apply start rate. So Chris, what is the industry norm for apply starts? And what should companies be looking to aim for?
So when we're talking about apply starts, I always love to use the range of good to great, because this will give us a staple
it's
on
also
knowing
a great
where we're
book,
at.
By the way. I'm joking.
Yes.
I'm not joking, but it's a good book. Good to great.
Yes. So when we're talking about the range of what good looks like, what great looks like with this conversion point of the apply starts, for most companies, this can be anywhere from, really, I like to say 35% to 50% is good to great. We can say even that buffer between 30% and 50%, to really lock it in, with a lot of other details we'll cover here in just a second, to know when you've really got this KPI, this point in your profit flywheel really locked in and running smoothly. So Libby, I know you have a couple examples here, and if you want to just talk through the one you have up right now, I believe this one we currently have is in fact your company. So the apply start rate I'm seeing on the screen is 45% currently.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Now, one thing to note is, although you're not, let's say, 50% running really locked in, there's probably a couple other factors that you've introduced in it yourself, where you've purposely started to kind of tip the scales back a little bit and start pushing people away with a different strategy. This is a little bit more advanced, but sometimes there's really having a clearly defined expectation in that job role to get things running perfectly without anything else. So you might sit much better, a little bit below that 50%, if you're intentionally trying to, let's say, speak to the right people. So in this example, let's talk about when things really aren't running that well, what other elements can really contribute to this apply start? So we spoke about relevance and whether it's speaking the right language to the right people at that right time, making sure that it's still in line or aligned with the what they saw in that snippet, that very first instance of that click, and as well as like the laid out job description, whether that's still relevant to them in detail, or if it's just a lot of it doesn't really connect with them in the right way.
Yeah. I think one of the things that we started to do is we got very intentional with our wording, and we removed a lot of the fluff words like awesome and sparkle and shine, and we got very intentional with who exactly we were looking for and the best fit person. So for us, we want to attract parents and parents who want flexibility in their life. So we used a lot of the words parents, we used kids, flexibility. And we removed a lot of the fluffy words, because to me, we found that people didn't feel it was that relevant for them, right? It was almost back to that catfishing. Like, what is this job? Like, you're just using a lot of creative words. And so we got really intentional, and we also wrote our job ad with hitting all of our core values within the job ad. So the job ad describes the core values of the company. But then we also tried to scare away people that were not a good fit because, Chris said I probably could have a better apply start rate, but, we are called Organize It, and we do professional organizing and residential cleaning. And our tagline is we're the most organized cleaning company in the world. How do you feel that you can live up to that standard? And so we talk about that in our job ad as well, like being the most organized cleaning company in the world. And so it may turn some people off or scare them away, which is intentional, before they push that apply start.
Yes. And Libby, I think that's a great example is when we talk about these concepts and the profit flywheel and really getting every step running smoothly. One thing to note here, just as a takeaway, is that we're going to give you the understanding of what is involved in getting these things running as optimal or as best as possible and running really smoothly. Then again, we'll talk about concepts that are really there to help refine and tweak and clean up. So again, you're kind of polishing that stone to get that diamond out there. And a part, Libby, of your process has been to polish and refine, even at this stage, the apply starts, to really push away the wrong people up front. So you're intentionally manipulating the percentages for each step of the conversion to get the outcome that you need or you should have in your company. So everybody's steps, everybody's conversions, everybody's percentages to a certain degree will look different based on what outcome you're looking to achieve.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to hit on this too is, when we started the beginning of this video, I had said the important factors in this was, relevance to the job seeker, job description, engagement and attraction, and then visual appeal. It's really hard to do visual appeal on like Indeed. We can do visual appeal on Facebook job ads, by the way. And if you're interested in Facebook job ads, we do that over at WootRecruit. And if you're a customer, it's a new add-on. And so that's easy to do on social media. But one way that we can do visual appeal for the job ad is make sure that your Indeed company profile is set up and connected to your social media accounts. Make sure you're posting on your social media accounts. Make sure you're not posting pictures of stock people cleaning houses or mowing lawns, please. Because you don't think a job applicant knows that's just a stock picture. Like, who are these people? There's no real people that work at this company. It looks fake. If you connect those to your Indeed business profile, it will pull them. It'll pull images sometimes, but also when they go to apply, before they push that apply start, they're going to see your Indeed business profile link right underneath your name, and they can click that, and that gives them the visual aspect to help increase that apply start rate. So make sure you have that profile set up. Make sure you've shared pictures. Make sure you've connected your Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I think it's Facebook and Instagram to it. And if you're not, you're missing that marker. You should be doing this, and you should be posting real pictures of your team. Take all those stock pictures off of your website and off your social media pages because your employees and applicants know that those are stock pictures.
Yes. And real quickly, with the time and energy that you as a business owner is most likely doing to improve your reputation in front of the customers that you're trying to service, why not do the same for those applicants? Why are we not putting the same attention towards making that an incredible experience in highlighting things to those applicants? Because again, without them, you wouldn't be able to service the homes that you do or whatever businesses you're in. And that's really the foundation of this in this profit flywheel, is making sure that we're layering in at every step, at every stage, that branding aspect of your company outwardly to those applicants.
Absolutely. So this was a great topic, the apply start, right? They're all pieced together, and the smallest adjustment, the smallest tweaks can make the biggest change. But one thing I wanted to bring up, Chris has said this over and over and over, and I don't know if anybody has caught on to this. And I think this is a really important topic, and this is nowhere in the Profit Flywheel, by the way. But he keeps saying relevant to the job seeker at the right time. What were you saying? It was 3 things. It was at the right time, to the right person. What was it?
Yes, it's speaking to the right person at the right time in the right place.
Okay. That is so important to listen to. Why? And I'm skipping ahead a whole bunch, but he's already said this like 10 times. And it's because maybe it's the right time later. Maybe because they didn't finish the application. Maybe because they failed the application. Maybe because they didn't show up to an interview. It wasn't the right time. And so as business owners, we get so caught up in, oh, they didn't finish. They didn't qualify. They didn't pass. I'm blacklisting them. I'm never interviewing them again. And I could be skipping a whole bunch of steps, but it wasn't the right time for them. And life changes, right? Life changes. Their kids may have aged into school. Maybe they moved. Maybe they got a divorce. Maybe they got a car. Who knows? But it wasn't the right time for them but just because they didn't finish applying or they didn't qualify or they didn't show up to an interview doesn't mean it's never the right time. So in all of these steps that we're explaining, our applicants, the applicant journey will change. They will kind of like age in and out of if it's the right time for our job or not. So hopefully this was great. This was Apply Starts. Our next one that we're going to cover in our Profit Flywheel is the actual applies. And then after that, we have our passes, our scheduled, our showed, the offers, accepted, who committed to our job, and then retain. And that is retain for culture. So again, make sure you like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, because we are doing a whole series on the Profit Flywheel for recruiting.